So we have a question here. What does the question say? The part of the question that you're interested in is this one. Advise K on and recommend an appropriate hedging strategy for the US dollar cash flows it is due to receive or pay in 3 months from L. So we need to identify here. The advice is to K on an appropriate strategy for the US dollar cash flow. It is due to receive or pay in 3 months' time from that company. Show all relevant calculations to support the advice that you are going to give. So remember that the question says you must give advice. And this advice will be based on a calculation or numeric analysis. In the last class, is something that you picked. What was it that we picked? We picked an important concept there. What was the concept that we picked? If there's a payment, and a receipt on the same day, we need to net off these and come up with a net exposure. So this is something that we want you to note all the times that you are doing a question. So whenever you are doing a question and there's a payment and a receipt falling on the same day, what do? Please do a net off. In other words, we expect you to apply the very first method of hedging, where you match your receipt and payment. We won't tell you to do that, no. But we expect that you all know that what you're supposed to do is to match the receipt and the payment. And that is what we want you to take note of in this question. Let's read through the question. Let's debrief the question and talk about it. There are certain things I want you to take note of as we read the question. K is a large multinational company based in the UK. That's very important for you. If you're going to do the question involving currency risk and exchange rates, we need to check where the country where the company is based, because that would tell us which one is a foreign currency and which one is a domestic currency. And therefore, which one are we hedging? It will also tell you whether you're using an indirect or a direct quotation. Based in the UK with a number of subsidiaries around the world, currently, foreign exchange exposure is out of transactions between K and this subsidiary is managed by each company individually. K is considering whether or not to manage the foreign exchange exposure using multilateral netting from the UK, with the sterling pound as a base currency. If multilateral netting is undertaken, spot mid rates would be used. That's not an issue for today. The following cash flows are due in 3 months between K and 3 of its subsidiary companies. The subsidiary companies are L, based in the United States, J, based in Canada, and G, based in Japan. So these are the 3 subsidiaries. But for the purpose of our question, they want us to look at the transaction between K and L, and also involving dollars. Let's see if we can identify this. Let's see if we can identify this. So here, there's amounts owed by and owed to. So I want to focus on those that relate to K and L. So owed by K, so K is owing L, meaning that K has to make a payment. So our advice, as we're advising K, so that's our focus. So K has to pay. They have to make a payment here. Of how much? $4.5 million. Another transaction between J, between K and L is here, the last one. Amount owed by L, it's owed to who? It owed to K. So K here is going to receive. There's a receipt here. What is a receipt? They're expecting to receive 2.1 million. So what we expect here then is that you're going to do a net off. We're going to find the net exposure. So the next exposure is that the company has got a payment of 4.5. And it's got a receipt of 2.1. So what is the net exposure? The net exposure is 2.4. Is that okay? 2.4.
Mr. Peter, you're on mute.
So we need to pay this amount, the net payment. So this is the exposure that we have to hedge. That's the exposure that we need to hedge. Okay. So how do you hedge this now? What hedging methods are available here? How do you know the hedging methods that are available here? How do we know the hedging methods that are available here? Okay. So the hedging methods that are available here. 1, exchange rates available to Kenduri. Exchange rates available to Kenduri. This tells you that there are are forward contracts, the spot rate and 3 months rate. So this information here tells you that the forward contracts are available, or the forward market is there. Forward markets or forward contracts. That's what we learn from here. Forward markets or forward contracts. That is one. So we have the 3 months forward contracts there. Okay. Next, there are these interest rates, annual rates given here. There are these annual rates given here. The annual rates available to Kenduri. These are annual rates. This tells you that Kenduri then can access the money market hedge. So that's how we know the money market hedge is available, which involves we can deposit money short term, or we can borrow money short term. That's what we're saying. Equally also, there's a mention of currency options available. Now, currency option is not a story for today. It's a story for another day. Currency option is a story for another day. Okay. So the story for today, based on what we have covered, is to see how we can use the forward markets or forward contracts and also the money market hedge to hedge the exposure of 2-4 that we have identified. Okay. I hope that helps us to break down this question. I hope that has helped us to break down the question. With that now, let us find the answer. Let's go. Let's look at this. This quotation system that we have here, what is it?
That's indirect.
That's the first thing that must identify. So then, the lower rates on this side are used when the bank is doing what?
Selling.
And these rates this side are used when the bank is doing what? Buying. So the simple question is, when we come to this, you need to identify what is the role of the bank. Remember, Kenduri K has to pay. Kenduri has to pay. So what's the role of the bank here? Is it to buy from Kenduri or to sell to Kenduri?
To sell.
To sell.
To sell.
The role of the bank is to sell dollars to Kenduri. Very important. So it means that here, which rates are we interested in? So we're interested in this side. That's our interest. So how much are the banks offering? The banks are offering how much for on 3 months? So that's the rate that they're offering. So the forward rate being offered here by the bank is 1.5996. So that's the forward rate. So if we use the forward contract, or the forward market, how much will this transaction cost us? How much will it cost us?
Uh, 15375.
1537.
No, 1,500,000. 375.09.
Okay. So there we are.
But those are dollars.
Come again.
Those are dollars.
Which ones? Then which number?
The 1,500,000.
You have converted them.
Okay,
Remember, first of all, they were what?
dollars.
Now, the rate is this one is a single pound. This one is a single pound. So when you divide it there, what do you get? You get the pound. Is that okay, Mr. Kunguru?
Yes.
So remember, the equation doesn't say calculate, like it's mathematical only. The question says you advise. So you need to put a statement. There are 3 methods which a company can use as follows. So this one is forward contract. Under a forward contract, the company can enter into a binding agreement with the bank where the bank will sell the dollars to the company. As shown in my computation, this method will cost us how much? So put a statement that under this method, the company, okay, will enter into a contract with the bank where the bank will sell K dollars. Can even mention the rate. The applicable rate is this amount. Okay. And this method will cost the company that. Then we move. Yes, please.
So that statement should go into our Word or into our Excel.
That statement together with the answer should go into your Word document.
But the calculation is done on Excel.
In Excel, we just make a reference. So in Excel, we just say working number 1, number 2, number 3.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, later on I'll share with you my Excel. Okay. Yeah. Next is we're going to try the money market hedge. Next, we'll try the money market hedge. So now, let's think about the money market hedge. I want you to tell me the steps. So I'll give you 2 minutes. I want you to quickly on your own write down the steps that you are going to use in a money market hedge. So 2 minutes, can you think through it before I put down the steps here that we are going to follow? And one of you is going to tell us the steps that we are going to follow in the use of the money market hedge. Okay. What are the steps again in hedging the $2 million?
So the first one is you deposit the dollars, the FX. After I've deposited, you sell the same dollars into your account. You sell to the bank. After you have sold, then you borrow. Because you need to borrow that money now from the bank, where you'll be charged the interest. Then when it's due, you pay.
Okay. Anyone wants to come up with their own steps as well? Money market hedge.
I think we'll consider the shortcut maybe just a borrow, convert, deposit. Then under there now, that's when we can go to those steps like for receipts and for a payment.
Okay. My approach, which you may want also to think of using, is I always say that you make your life easy. The problem is that 3 months from now, you have to pay how much? That amount. So we can wait till 3 months from now, and when we go and to the market to buy that money. But we are saying through the money market, don't do that. What should you do? That is my suggestion. You buy the dollars now and place them on a deposit account. Buy the dollars now and place them where? Here. And then on the due date, make the payment. That is the way I want you to approach this question. You go and buy the dollars today and put them in an account. And therefore, these dollars will be earning what? These dollars will be earning what?
Interest.
Yes, these dollars will be earning interest. On the final day, just make the payment. I would be very happy if you can adopt this approach when you're explaining. Just explain saying that if I'm making a payment in dollars, I'm going to buy my dollars today and put them on an account so that I can accrue some interest. And when the date comes to make the payment, I'll use the funds, including the interest, to make the payment. Because remember, the question is not calculate. If you take this question as calculate, you have not fully understood it. It's advice. So the advice given is go and buy your dollars today and place them on an account. Because when you buy your dollars today, automatically what have you achieved? By buying the dollars today, what have you done automatically?
You have removed the risk.
Yes, you have eliminated the
question of exchange rate.
Yes. That's how you kill the risk. So the risk is killed, is eliminated by you transacting when? Today. The payment is easier to explain, very easy. Just buy your currency today, put in an account so that it can grow. The other item of where the money comes from is now for your calculations. This money, when you are buying, where do you get the money from? Because you simply go and buy dollars. But for you to buy dollars, what do you need to carry in your hands? What do you need to carry in your hands? Pounds. Where did these pounds come from?
The account.
I want you to
No, you borrow it from the bank.
So here we always assume that you borrow. Don't say that I have money in the account. Just forget that. Just say I borrowed this money. I borrowed this money. So this money that we are using at this stage is borrowed money. I wouldn't want you to talk about that. If you want, you can mention it later. But the advice is that you must go and buy your pounds today, the dollars today. Now the question is, what is the cost of this? What's the cost of buying the dollars today? What is the cost? So now we do the computation to show the cost. Can you do that together? Can you do that together? What we know is that the amount that we want to deposit, we call it X. This amount plus the interest that we are going to accrue. Yes, please.
Just there before we proceed. So when you write, so you give that statement you have mentioned when in weight, and then thereafter is when you do the calculation in Excel, isn't it?
If you want, you can do the calculations in Excel. When you come to work, just type the explanation. So
okay.
Straight into calculation.
Okay. But in your weight, you need to include the figures, the final figures.
Yes.
Which one is the best?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
So there's an amount we don't know called X, plus the interest should give you what? that amount. Now, these are dollars. You have bought your dollars. We don't know how much dollars you have bought, plus the interest should give you 2.4. Now, when you put dollars on an account, you now come here, United States. When you invest dollars, how much are they giving? Have you seen how much they're giving?
3.1 per annum.
That is very important. This is annual. But you want to deposit your money for how long? How long?
3 months.
3 months.
Month.
So the interest rate is so what is the answer?
0.775.
So then you're saying x1 plus should give you so how much money should we deposit in this account?
So we have 2381,543.04. 543.04.
So this is the money that you must deposit in an account. That's the money you must deposit in an account. In other words, this is the money that you must buy. So this company should go and buy this amount, put the money in an account. After 3 months, it will be 2.4 million to make a payment. How is that? Now, what is the cost of that money? What is the cost of that money? What's the cost today? Let's go. The banks are here. The banks today, this is what they're quoting you. What's the cost today? What's the cost today?
Mr. Perry, what have you written down there? It's 1.2.
5938. Yeah? This one.
1.5. Okay, all right.
This one.
So, okay. I think that's where I missed it. Okay. I got from the other side.
This one here.
Yeah. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
The bank is still selling.
Because I was thinking now the bank is buying instead of selling.
The bank is still selling to you. You are the one who has the problem. You are the one who wants dollars. The only thing is, what have we said here in our step number 1? You buy today. In other words, the bank is selling to you today. So you are buying now your dollars.
Okay.
So from the bank, what is the bank doing? The bank is selling to you.
Okay.
Today.
All right. Okay. I've gotten it.
So how much is that now?
1,494,625.
1,494.
625.42.
What's the interpretation of this? Today we must find how much? Today we must find how much? To go and buy. To go and buy. We're going to buy what? Or this one?
Mr. Piri, I'm getting a different figure.
Okay.
I don't know.
What are you getting?
I'm getting 1,494,254.64.
1,494.
254.64.
Could somebody confirm figures for us, please? Any confirmation?
The same
I
one is
confirm.
Which one are you confirming? 625 or 254?
254.
254.
254. So Mr. Nkunguru, there's something wrong here. Maybe it's 1.5938. 1.5938 here. Let's check it. Okay. Now, where did this money come from? And what is the full cost of this money? This money we borrowed it. And so over the next 3 months, the bank will be charging us interest. So we come here now, we say,
yes, I've confirmed this correct, 254.61.
Okay. So let's come to where the pound is. So what you borrowed was a pound. So when you borrow, this is the rate. This is the rate when you borrow. And for 3 months, how much does that come to?
1%.
So then, what is the cost in 3 months' time? What is the cost in 3 months' time? So we are going to charge interest at 1 plus 1%. So you're going to multiply this figure by 1 plus 1%. So what is your answer now?
1509 197.18.
So this is the cost of this transaction. That's how much this transaction will cost us. That's how much this transaction will cost us. Is that okay? So you see, those who read through the question, they tried the question, they have benefited much more because they have identified the tricks, the weaknesses, and they have done the correction. Not so, Mr. Mufela. Haven't we benefited much more?
Very much, actually.
So that is why when you have an exercise, spend some time, do it. When you come here, just correct all your mistakes and ask the questions. Okay.
Mr. Piri,
Yes, sir.
I just made some observations in money market hedging. That the first stage, irrespective of whether it's a receipt or payment, is division. Then the second stage, that's when we apply the rules of direct and indirect. And then the last stage, again, irrespective of the receipt or payment, it is multiplication. I don't know how you can try to reason with me in that area.
Yeah, you see, now if you take that approach, you need to be careful because you're looking at a quotation system. So you can't say irrespective, no, because what you're going to do with the exchange rates is determined by the quotation system. Remember that in an indirect quotation system, that's where we do a division. Where is our division? The division is here. If it was direct, you would have been multiplying. So that's the only thing you need to take care of there. So the receipts and payments, you need to be careful in terms of the quotation system. Otherwise, the rest is okay. But how many?
Yeah, then I also
Go ahead.
I was doing a question, an exercise. Then I also noticed that the approach is okay in terms of direct and indirect, but the rate that was used, if the monies are not either dollar or pound, then means that the exchange rate will if it, like in this case, could have been the higher if there was not dollar and pound.
Which one? You mean?
No, on the there where the exercise price quotation US dollar and pound there, let's say it could have been maybe Zambian kwacha there and or Bahat somewhere in Thailand there. So I realized the quotation system will be higher even for the
because
because
like this one, that is what you call a direct quotation. I was saying the Zambian kwacha to that, that's a direct quotation. When the banks are selling, they use a higher rate. When they are buying, they use a smaller rate. Are there additional questions? Okay, if there's no additional questions, let us address the question of multilateral netting. Multilateral netting. So as you can see, we've got a group of companies here receiving money from each other, making payments to each other. We are saying that you can do some net-offs here so that to reduce the crisscrossing of transaction. You can see there's a lot of, if these payments are going to be made, there are many payments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There'll be 8 transactions. And some will be buying dollars, others saying dollars. There'll be a lot of confusion. So what to do is we can actually do a net-off to reduce the transaction cost and also to reduce the exposure to exchange rate. So here they are saying, how do you do the netting? So they have mentioned the point here. They say K is considering, let's check it.